For over a decade, Counter-Strike has been defined by legends. Players like Simple and ZywOo pushed the game to levels that once seemed impossible. But every era eventually changes, and now a new generation is rising. Some have the mechanics, some have the trophies, and some have the consistency. But only a few have the real chance to become the next GOAT of Counter-Strike. So today we're ranking the 5 biggest contenders, from least likely to the player with the best chance of becoming the greatest of all time. The first contender, Robin Cool.
For an ace, 4 kills as he manhandles mid, and ropz is able to get flustered back to sight. He will hit him, and you've got Robin keeping it cool. A little more damage in. Shiro wants his clutch. Vitality's first.
ropz is probably the smartest player on this list. He's not the flashiest. He doesn't rely on insane flicks or highlights clips every round. However, ropz built his career through positioning, timing, discipline, and consistency, and that's exactly why he deserves to be here. For years, he has been one of the most reliable riflers in Counter-Strike. No matter the roster, no matter the meta, no matter the version of the game, he always delivers. What makes ropz special is how complete his game is. His movement is elite, his decision making is elite, and his clutching is elite. He almost never makes bad plays. And over time, that kind of consistency creates longevity, one of the most important parts of GOAT status. The biggest issue? GOAT conversations usually favor players who completely dominate eras individually. And while ropz has always been world class, he's rarely been viewed as the undisputed best player on earth. Still, if he keeps winning trophies and performing at an elite level of years, he could end his career as one of the greatest riflers ever. The second contender, Niko.
Then it's Niko. Key men here because they've got big armor, and Niko's putting in more damage. Well, what is that? No! 4 kills! You can't do this! There's only one more person to find. Down to the 1 versus 1. Is he really going to ace? Niko!
5 versus 3 now. Oh my goodness, Niko is just an absolute beast. He's going for it, boys. He's going for the ace. 4 kills to his name. ropz has been taken down. And Niko
might genuinely be the most mechanically gifted rifler Counter-Strike has ever seen. His aim is legendary. For nearly a decade, Niko has destroyed Tier 1 competition with impossible precision, insane spray control, and unbelievable consistency. At his peak, he could completely take over games by himself. And unlike many superstars, he's done it across multiple eras of Counter-Strike. That matters, because longevity is what separates great players from GOAT contenders. But Niko's career has one massive problem: majors. For years, the biggest criticism against him was simple. How can you be the GOAT without winning the biggest tournaments? That pressure followed him throughout his entire career. And in Counter-Strike, legacy is heavily tied to championships. Still, if Niko finishes his career with multiple majors and continues performing at an elite level, the narrative around him could completely change. Because in terms of pure individual skill, very few players in history can compare. The third contender, Ilya Ospov.
They think they've uprooted Modesty. They couldn't be further from the truth. Fame sticking the bomb, but Modesty rips him down.
push and pull, and m0NESY, no scope. Style points from m0NESY. He'll go back and finish it.
He's stuck the.
There's maybe one down with snacks, but it is going to be a headshot straight away from m0NESY, who now does have a kit, who now does have a kill. Oh! That is absolutely unbelievable. This is the best player in the world.
m0NESY feels like the perfect modern superstar. Young, explosive, and fearless. And mechanically absolutely terrifying. For the moment he entered Tier 1 Counter-Strike, people knew he was different. His reaction speed, movement, flicks, and confidence makes him look like a future world #1 almost instantly. However, what makes m0NESY truly dangerous is his ceiling. Still feels like he hasn't fully peaked yet, and that's scary. He also delivers superstar performances against the best teams in the world, while still being incredibly young. He enters an era where he becomes the clear best player in Counter-Strike for several years straight. Then the GOAT conversation becomes very real. The biggest thing he still needs is dominance. Not just highlights, not just incredible moments, an era. Because every GOAT candidate eventually needs that period where the entire scene revolves around them. And m0NESY absolutely has the talent to reach that level. The fourth contender, Matthew Herberto,
Silly about tracking and reactions. Good shot. Oh! The aim! The brain!
Throws open B. Smoke towards middle. That's more like it. Collateral kill. And the bomb side. Yes, they do. There's the first headshot on his face. Pick it right back up and get it in that goal hole. No! Looking for four. And
ZywOo is already in the GOAT conversation. Some people already think he's number one, and honestly, it's hard to argue against it. What makes ZywOo different is consistency. Most players have peaks, ZywOo barely has down periods. Year after year, tournament after tournament, he continues putting up unbelievable numbers while making the game look effortless. Doesn't need flashy aggression to dominate. He controls games through positioning, efficiency, and near perfect decision making. And statistically, his resume is already one of the greatest in Counter-Strike history. MVPs, trophies, majors. The scary part? He's still going, which means his legacy is still growing in real time. If ZywOo continues performing like this for several more years, he may eventually become the untouchable standard future players are compared against. And the fifth contender with the most potential, Daniel Kruskovets.
More. Oh my God! He that peaks it, hits the ground in an instant.
There he is! Once again, just finds the perfect timing, destroys Liquid with 4, an ace!
go forward alone, but there's so many targets. And he can often prove enough to off an unbelievable clutch to keep his team in it. Yes, he can.
Dispatches up here, man. Look at Donk do it! That's disgusting! Revolting from Donk!
Daniel Kruskovets is the most terrifying young talent Counter-Strike has ever seen. And honestly, he might have the highest ceiling in the history of the game. What makes Donk special isn't just the numbers, it's how he gets them. He plays hyper aggressive, he takes impossible fights, he entry frags against the best teams in the world, and somehow still puts up superstar statistics. That should not be possible. Most entry players create space for their team. Donk creates space while looking like the best aimer in the server every single match. And because he's dominating so young, he has something every GOAT candidate needs: time. If he keeps winning trophies, collecting MVPs, and maintaining this level for the next 5 to 8 years, he could realistically surpass everyone. Simple, ZywOo, and Niko, all of them. Because mechanically, the community already talks about Donk differently than almost any player before him. Not as a future superstar, but as a potential all-time great. The scary part about Counter-Strike is that greatness never lasts forever. Every era eventually ends. But right now, the next generation is already here. Some players are chasing trophies, some are chasing dominance, and some are chasing history itself. The only question is, who will actually become the next GOAT of Counter-Strike?